I hope everybody can see me. I'm not sure. I think I'm frozen. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Give me a one if you can see and hear me, okay? I'm sorry I'm late. My computer was doing a bit of an update. Give me a one if you can see and hear me, okay? All right. What's up? Thank you to all my moderators. I appreciate everybody sticking around with me. I appreciate that. All right. Excellent. Thank you to everybody that came by. I appreciate it. I know I'm getting a little bit of buffering, but hopefully we get through it. We got Miss Jill Scott bringing us in. I hope everybody's doing all right with a little bit of don't hate on me. I'm not afraid of what I got. I'm paying for. You can hate on me. What's up, y'all? Get up in this kitchen. All right. What's up, Miss Angie? No matter where I live, despite the things I give, you always be safe. So hey, on me, hey. I'm gonna do me, baby. What's up to everybody? Get on up in this kitchen. Come on, y'all. Slide up in with the girl. I know I am late. He said you got your boots on the ground. I heard that, Alvin. What's going on, baby? I'm not afraid of what I got. I'm paying for. You can hate on me. Get up in this kitchen, y'all. Get up in this kitchen. We're going to talk about some things. The name of this video is The Lies They Told Us. Woo, child. I got one to clear up today. Y'all going to love this class today. Get your Bibles out, honey. We're going to be inside of Kings and Chronicles. We're going to get some stuff together. Honey, these people got us out here looking crazy. We're going to fix some stuff about the family. We're going to get some information together today. I hope everybody's doing all right. Get up in here. All right, y'all. Let's get started. We got enough people up in here. We got 100 folks in here. I knew normally we have more, but you know, hey, people come and they go, and it is okay. Because your girl is still going to come here and do her thing, y'all. As you all know, we had our Pope leave us. You know, he left 88 years old. You know, that double eights, it's over. That's it. You understand? And he had probably already been dead. They were just trying to figure out exactly what they were going to do with the old guy as far as who's going to replace him. Because, you know, it's a whole big shada around who's going to be the next pope and all the voting that they have to do all around the world for that new freak that's going to come through the door. But you know how that works. At the end of the day, it has nothing to do with us. So, hey, he left on their Easter, because honestly, our Passover was last week, the last Friday before this one. So they do a lot of things, and we're going to find out about that today, how they set up their pagan holidays right on top of ours on the same day. And some real interesting stuff that I found out over this weekend that I wanted to share with the family, because they told us a lot of lies, darling. Some serious humbug lies about the case of, well, we're going to be working on the case of King Solomon. And it is seriously a case, because there's a lot of things that were told that were exaggerated, a lot of things that were, I'd say Hollywood and glamorized. The reason why we got a lot of people who want to get into this thing we call magic, because they think that our ancestors were the ones who controlled it. Yes, we got into some things, but it ain't what you think it is. It wasn't into the wizards and wizardry as we think it was. It was more or less of straight up just Baal Baal worship, which is, y'all know what Baal is. That's that star thing that everybody, that all of the Ish people walk around with. And every king of Israel got caught up in it. And you're going to see why. It's a bit of a mystery. And even the Bible says it's a bit of a mystery, the reason why everybody keeps falling to this star thing and walking away from the creator and going over to this star thing. So we need to clear up this case. How many people are cool with being on the case and clearing up this information that we have? Because the Bible actually does it, but see, you got to be able to study and know how to move within it to even find the explanation. We're gonna find it. This is gonna be like one of those, what was that show that used to come out where you had the oh my goodness, I can't remember this man's name. I used to watch his show all the time. It was one of those Perry Mason moments. Perry Mason. So if you're ready to have a Perry Mason moment on this past channel, on Spiritual Life Fitness channel, honey, give me a 5, because we're gonna get one together. We're gonna take down some rumors. We're gonna take down some of this woo-woo tonight. You understand? Because you got Nettie over there trying to start a little war and drag American into, except for her population is not so big behind her being dragged into this war. But it's inside Revelations and inside Daniel that Nettie was going to do that and bring us into a big old war that we really don't want, you understand, and have her over there into Armageddon, into that foolishness he got going on over there. But like I said, that ain't got nothing to do with us. What has something to do with us is us getting ourselves together and learning how to handle ourselves with our creator, because we are the unshakable generation. We are the ones that saying we gonna do what we supposed to do. We gonna do these laws. We gonna get ourselves together, and we gonna take our act right juice. Okay, we gonna get our act right together over here, because we ain't doing another 400 plus years of jail anymore, because that's pretty much all we kept doing, is getting into one captivity after another captivity, because the Most High was like, y'all were doing the most. All right, I see this thing going off again. Hold on, let me make sure y'all can see me okay. Give me a 1 if you can see me okay. Give me a 1 if you can see me okay. I know I got this thing sitting up here saying that my connection is unstable for whatever reason. Here we go again. As soon as you mention certain people's names, motherfuckers start acting stupid. You understand? So we're going to keep it real on the code, ladies and gentlemen over here. All right. As long as everybody can see me, cool. Okay. So the lies that they told, case of King Solomon. Now, they told us, the lie that we was told is that King Solomon was a wizard, aka a warlock who wore a ring that helped build the temple of Yahweh. How many people heard that lie? Give me a 1 if you heard that lie. Give me a 1 if you heard that lie, that King Solomon built the temple of Yahweh with demons. Give me a 1. I know I heard it. Okay, about 4 people heard that. Okay. We got some more people who heard that old BS book. Honey, that is a lie from the pit of hell. The pit of hell. And the Bible tells you all about it if you open up your books and read it. Quiet as kept. Yeah, okay. Arena control demons. And you want to know where they got that story from, honey? They got that story from Ish and them with they damn Talmud. Okay, whatever the hell that book is that they read over there that has a whole bunch of blasphemies inside of it about Jesus and everybody else that they don't agree with was inside their book. And that book that's a book that they recently made, their Talmud. That had nothing to do with us. That had absolutely nothing to do with what's in this book. In fact, the Bible actually questions a few things that happen inside of the house of Israel as far as a nation is concerned, because a lot of things in there don't match up. And believe it or not, the Talmud is by those people underneath that same star of what? Raphael. Do you understand? Not the creator, Yahweh, that they talk about. Okay, you got to understand, this is where we see the two separate. David was on the side of our creator, King David, and did not depart from that at all, ladies and gentlemen. Understand that. So get that in your mind. He did not depart from his place with the Most High. He stayed right there with Abraham, Moses, and all the rest of them that came before him, okay? It was Solomon who was the one who diverted. And Solomon did not divert until he was an old dude. Okay? He did not divert during the time when he was young. And believe it or not, by the time David got ready to retire and hand his kingship over to Solomon, Solomon was fully ready to take that position. The Most High had already set up there and told David that's who he wanted to be king next to him. And the boy was already on his way. He was doing well. The Most High was pleased with our brother. You understand? He sat up there, was scared, and he asked the Most High, was like, what is it that you want? I'll give you anything you ask for. That's when he asked the Most High for wisdom to be able to understand right from wrong, because he's like, the nation Israel is so big, and I don't know if I'm going to do well. And the Most High said, I got you, boy. I'm going to give you that wisdom so you be able to know, and you be smart as hell. And everybody saw how smart this boy was. They was coming from everywhere to say, man, this dude has got it together. He makes some sound decisions. You understand what I'm saying? And believe it or not, you see a lot of things that happen. We get our contract with the Most High through Solomon as well, of how our contract and the terms of our contract with the Most High would be. And they are very clear, and you will understand why we got the punishments that we got and everything, because those are the things that during the dedication of the temple that was built for the Creator, you understand, even though he's like, I don't really need a temple, but seeing as that this is something that you and David want to do, I'm going to go ahead and entertain you. You understand what I'm saying? They ended up, David was the one who said he wanted it, and Solomon was the one who completed. Well, darling, tonight we're going to sit up here and we're going to put it together on how all of this came together. Because when you read Kings, they give you a small smidget of how this went, and the reason why we got stupid stories like him having a ring that was built, that the temple was built with, okay, with by demons. And I'll tell you why. This is, y'all gonna feel so stupid. Y'all gonna sit up there and say, see, this is why you don't let people read. You don't let people read for you. You have to go and get your Bibles yourself. So I need you all to go to page, let's see. Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give you a synopsis. So when you go over here to, they start talking about the actual, okay. So inside of Kings 6, the 6th chapter, it kind of, when pretty much Kings chapter 6, and we're going to bounce down to verse 7. Now, verse 7, it says, a house when it was building was built of stone and made at the quarry, and there was neither hammer nor axe nor any tool of iron heard building in the house while it was building. Now, they're talking about the actual temple of that King Solomon was making at his time. There is a reason why you didn't hear any kind of building and things like this. So they made it real spooky and stuff like that. And I'll keep reading so you can understand how they came at this whole synopsis of that this was built by some strange entity. Number one, because they never heard of an axe or anything being built, of all the chiseling that would have to go into this building and things like that. Okay, that's number one. This is what's making everybody spooked out. And it says, and the door in the middle of the chambers on the right side of the house that they had went up by winding stairs and the middle story out of the middle to the third. so that he built the house and finished it and covered the house with beams and planks of cedar, and that he built the stories and all of the house 5 cubits high that rested on the house with lumber and cedar. He said, and the word of Yahweh came to Solomon, saying, concerning this house in which you are building, if you walk in my statutes and you execute my ordinances and keep all of my commandments and walk in them, that I will establish my word with you, which was spoken with David your father, and I will dwell among the children of Israel and will not forsake my people. Now, they're, like I said, they're giving you inside of Kings a very, very short summary of what's going on. Now they're saying that they start in verse 14, they start giving you a description of what actually is happening with this actual house. They're telling you how it's put together. They're telling you inside italicized things. He's like, they talk about the ceilings and the walls of it, and then how he built for them. I told you when they put italicized in it, they're pointing you something to make sure you understand what you're talking about. The them in which they speaking of in here are called Levites. Those are the priests. I'm blowing it up today. Those are the priests. And they said, and for within it, the oracle. Now, an oracle is something that tells the future or something that contains something. All right. So when you look at it, they're saying, okay, this is an oracle. So an oracle is something like a symbol, an entity that tells you the future or guards something and this and this and that. Basically, what they're talking about is for the walls. It says he built them for within it for an oracle, even for the most holy place, the house that is the temple before the oracle. And they put it in italicized because the oracle in which they're talking about is the Ark of the Covenant, ladies and gentlemen. That's what the oracle was. The actual house that the Ark of the Covenant went in. That's that thing that has the wings that are touching, the 2 angels, and the wings are touching. That's what they're talking about here. Okay? And strangely enough, they tell you how big it is, how it has flowers and things on it and things like that, and how it's seen from the outside of the temple to the inside of the temple. All right. So when you read from 17 down to 22, they're talking about what the actual oracle, which is the encasement of what the Ark of the Covenant goes inside, that Solomon had designed and made. That's what the oracle was the actual encasement for the Ark of the Covenant. Had nothing to do with demons. Okay. That's number 1. And a lot of people don't understand that. You got to be in architecture to be able to do that. I told you I worked in an architecture office for a very long time as the manager of a couple of those firms, architectural firms. And when you're in there, you understand what they're talking about when you start talking about cubits and how things are measured up and stuff like that. And I got it right away what they were talking about. They were talking about the actual housing unit that the Ark of the Covenant that was put inside of it. Okay. And all of you all have seen pictures of the Ark of the Covenant. Give me a 5 if you've seen pictures of it. That was designed during the time of Solomon. Give me a 5 if you remember seeing pictures of the Ark of the Covenant. It didn't look like that during David's time. During David's time, it more likely was inside some type of a box or like a treasure box. When Solomon showed up, Solomon actually made that beautiful box in which it was contained inside. Okay? So how many people understand that? Give me a 2 if you understand and you're following along, that basically that chapter 6 is basically giving you a small synopsis of what the Ark of the Covenant actually was looking like, that they were building that. And there is a reason why you did not hear anything being built. And the only way you find that out is inside of Chronicles chapter 28. Okay, go to chapter 28 in Chronicles, and there on chapter 28, verse 2. And I will read to you the reason why this happened the way it happened. Now, they told us that our brother had a magic ring that did all of this. And this demon and friends that were in the water bottles and that he put them in after they built the temple, he put them inside water vessels and things like that, according to the Talmud. Well, David's finna tell you exactly what went on, baby. And I just love how you can find liars in this. And the reason why it wasn't done during David's time, because it was David who really wanted the house of Yahweh first and foremost. So I'm going to read this to you right now. It says, and then David the king stood up upon his feet and said, hear me, my brethren and my people. As for me, it is in my heart to build a house of rest for the ark of the covenant of Yahweh and for the footstool of our Elohim. I had made ready for a building, for the building. But Elohim said to me, you shall not build a house for my name, because you are a man of war and have shed blood. In other words, bruh, you a murderer, and I can't have you building nothing in my name. Okay? The Most High is very clear about thou shalt not what? Kill. However, he loved David, but he said, you can't build nothing for me, bro. Your hands has got blood on them. All right. However, Yahweh of the Elohim of Israel chose me out of all of my father's house to be king over Israel forever, for he has chosen Judah to be prince, and in the house of Judah, the house of my father, he took pleasure to make me king over all of Israel and all of my sons, for Yahweh has given me many sons. And he has chosen Solomon to sit upon the throne of the kingdom over Israel. And he said to me, Solomon, your son, he shall build my house and my courts. I have chosen him to be my son, and I will be his father. So the Most High is saying, he's going to be my son, and I'm going to be Solomon's father from this point on. Okay? Now, he says, and I will establish his kingdom forever if he is consistent to do my commandments and my ordinances at this day. Now, therefore, in the sight of all of Israel, the assembly of Yahweh, and in the audience of our Elohim, observed and seeked out the commandments of Yahweh and your Elohim. And when they says that you may possess this good land and leave it for an abundance to your children after you forever. And you, Solomon, my son, you know the Elohim of your father, and serve him with perfect heart and willing mind, for Yahweh searches all hearts and understands the imaginations of the thoughts. If you seek him, and he will be found of you. But if you forsake him, he will cast you off forever. Take heed now, for Yahweh has chosen you to build the house for the sanctuary. Be strong and do it. Okay? Now you understand why David could not build it, and the reason why Solomon is building it, and why it was being built to house what? The Ark of the Covenant. All right. Now, David gave to Solomon, his son, the pattern of the porch of the temple and the houses of it. So, in other words, David designed, he gave him the draft pictures of what he wanted that temple to look like. Are you hearing me, class? Give me a 1 if you're hearing me. David was the one who designed the temple, baby, how it was to look and everything that was supposed to go on it. Give me a 2 if you get it. Okay? Give me a 2. If you heard that. You heard it? Did you hear it? Give me a 2. All right, we got 2s going. Give me 2s. Give me 2s. Give me 2s if you hear it. David did the design. David was the one who did the architectural design of the temple of Yahweh. Okay, did no demon do it. So keep on, hold on to your hats, because here we bring. This is where we giving you the receipts. Okay, so it says. Here we go. He says, David gave to Solomon, his son, the pattern of the porch and the houses of it, and the treasures of it, in the upper rooms of it, the inner chambers of it, the palace mercy, the place of the mercy seat, the pattern of all that by spirit for the court of the house of Yahweh, for the chambers all around, and the treasury house of Elohim, and for the treasures and the delicate things, for the courses, for the priests and the Levites, and for all the work and service of the house of Yahweh, for all the vessels of service in the house of Yahweh, gold and weight and vessels of gold. So in other words, he had everything, the patterns of it, the designs, everything, all of the individual things that's supposed to go in there. This man already had this stuff literally designed what he wanted, how he wanted it to go in there. Okay, I'm getting to that part. Hold on to your draws, Shanetta. Okay, hold on, because y'all finna get like, what? He did all of this, any kind of service, for all the silver, for all the weight, everything. So I'm gonna bounce down, since we got people hurrying up. I'm only gonna bounce down to verse 19. And David said, I have made to understand in writing from the hand. It said, and that David said. Now it's italicized, so what that means? He said that, not the Most High. David said. It said all this. David said, I have made to understand in the writing of the hand of Yahweh, and all of the works of the pattern. And David said to Solomon, his son, be of good courage and do it. Fear not, do not be dismayed, for Yahweh Elohim, my Elohim, is with you and will not fail you or forsake you until the work and service of the house of Yahweh is finished. For behold, there are courses for the priests and the Levites. That's what it said for them. The courses inside of Kings was talking about the Levites. For them, okay, for the services of the house of Elohim, for there shall be with you in all manner of work and willing man that has skill for any manner of service, and that also contains, and captains for all people who wholly are at your commandment. So in other words, he's saying, I will read that part again. And there are courses for priests and Levites for all service of the house of Elohim, and there will be with you in all manner of work willing men that has skill, and for any manner of service, and also the captains of all the people will be wholly at your commandment. So in other words, anybody that's got the talent of making any of the things in which we need for this specific house will be at your command. Where the hell did the demon come from? And then he's going to literally show you. He's going to show you pretty much the whole damn house of Israel put their talents together to make the house of Yahweh. Where did the demons show up? Where did spooky demons show up? Where did the ring come from? The house of Israel put all of their talents together. That means if I'm a glass maker, if I'm a pottery maker, if you're a person that sits up here and does walls, carvings, you understand, gold kind of, you know what I'm saying, gold castings and things like that. He got anybody that was inside of Israel that had that talent to bring their best A game to make the house of Yahweh. Where did the demon come from? Where did it come from? The reason why you didn't hear any hammers happening in the building, because everything was being custom made at everybody's different quarries. So when they had to lay each part, the parts were already made and they were being put together like how you would put together Legos. So that means when they got ready to lay the foundation was laid a certain type of way. A group of guys that did the walls a certain type of way. So no, you're not going to hear hammering and things because it's not being built there. It's being custom made at different places. Everything that went inside that house was custom made with gold, laced in gold and everything. That means it couldn't have been done on site. The same way shit is done today. When we build different, I'll tell you this, when we're going to build something and we know that we're going to have, say this building is going to need a certain type of plaster or a certain type of marble that's going on the outside of the building, that's not going to be laid there. They're going to bring that wall of marble to the building and then at that point put it on. It is not going to be done there. That kind of stuff has to be shipped and then put on by a specific group of people who literally know what they're doing as far as applying that wall. It cannot be done by the same people who are building. Do you understand? But you got folks telling you that this house was made by demons, but actually it was fashioned and designed by every hand inside of the house of Israel. That's the reason why it was so beautiful. Even Queen Sheba was like, this place, when she saw the house of Yahweh, she was blown away. And the reason why she's blown away, it was a group effort. It was a nation effort, you all. That's the reason why it was beautiful. Not because demons made it. This is the reason why you got to read for yourself. And if you think I'm BSing, I'll read it to you. Seeing as that we have some people who don't believe that, Miss Pat is actually going in here and finding these things. But this is your receipt right here. Chapter 29 inside of Chronicles, verse 2. Now that we have prepared with all my might for the house of Elohim, for the gold and the things of gold and the silver things and the things of bronze for the things of bronze and iron for the things of iron, wood for the things of wood, Antioch stones to be set and stones to be inlaid work, diverse colors and all manner of precious stones, marbles in abundance. Moreover, because I have my affection on the house of my Elohim, seeing as that I have a treasure of my own of silver, I give to the house of Elohim over and above all that I have prepared for the holy house. And 3,000 talents of gold and gold of Ophir, and 7,000 talents of refined silver, with which to overlay the walls of the house, and gold for the things of gold, and silver for the things of silver, and all of the work to be made by the hands of skilled workers, who then offer willingly to consecrate themselves. It says, who offers willingly to consecrate themselves to this day to Yahweh. So in other words, he's saying, who's willing to do this work to help us make this happen? So he basically opened it up, and he says, and the princes of the fathers' houses, and the princes of the tribes of Israel, and the captains of thousands, of hundreds, and the rulers over the king's work offered willingly. They gave of their service for the house of Elohim. They gave money. They gave 5 talents of silver, thousands of pieces of money, as well as their trade. That's basically nothing burger. Now, who the hell would sit up here and hope you was going to listen to them about how this man's house, how the Father's house was made? The Father's house was made custom. That's the reason why there was no hammers heard building it. Everything came from other places. Y'all see that? He said, skilled hands of skilled workers, ladies and gentlemen. That's how that was made. Where did they get this ring from? Because, honey, I kept reading, looking for it, and I couldn't find it. All I saw was that all our people got together and they was very happy and proud of the house that they made for Yahweh, and that David was the designer of it, and his son literally commissioned everybody. And he charged everybody along with Solomon, because Solomon made this house once his father passed away. Okay, so, or you understand, I don't know if he had passed away or not, but Solomon had pretty much made this house at this point. And the reason why his daddy couldn't make it is because he had blood on his hands. So he said Solomon was the one that was going to build it, and Solomon commissioned everybody. They had the best people, skilled people in the world were inside of the house of Israel. Custom-made crib, not by demons, unless the demons was us. Unless the demons was us. That's how the house got built. Now, it took, if you go back inside of Kings and you sit up here and you go back to Mr. Solomon, yes, Mr. Solomon did start messing around with, you know, his little wives. That was his downfall, was his, you know, his slong. You know what I'm saying? He was a bit of a womanizer and things like that, and that was his hiccup. You know what I'm saying? He picked that up from his daddy with the, you know, the problems with the chicks and everything. But I'm gonna tell you right now that he didn't make that house during the time that he didn't make the temple during the time that he started being bothered with the foreign women. That was during his earliest part of him taking over the house of Israel when that place was built. I'm sorry, y'all. It was. It wasn't till Solomon got older that he started doing things outside of the Most High. And it's stated inside the Bible that that's what happened. But during his younger years, during that dedication of that temple, I'm gonna tell you right now, the prayer that he put up is one that stopped me dead in my tracks, ladies and gentlemen. And that's something that we're gonna go over tonight, about how we ended up with the punishments that we ended up with. Because a lot of people don't understand still, how do we get at this point? How is it that the Most High keeps on punishing us with these, you know, these long stints of captivity? And the reason why has to do with the day that this Pacific temple got dedicated and the prayer that Solomon put up. Okay? So I'm telling you right now, you all have to start thinking about what you're listening to when people tell you, "Oh, our forefathers were into witchcraft." No, they were into the worship of idols as well as Baal. Okay, now Baal is into child sacrificing and sacrificing people. All right, and witchcraft and things like that are all included. However, that was not something, jinns and things like that were not something that was discussed in this particular book. I don't know where they got started getting discussed that, but in this book, from where I've seen it so far, the house of Israel kept on doing things as far as cheating on the Most High with other gods that foreign individuals brought into our midst. And we continue to do it on a regular basis. For whatever reason, that's the mystery that's here. But when we got in trouble, we knew how to find our Father. When things got hot, and we knew that our God actually listened and did things and did amazing things, that's when we started to act like we had a little sense. Okay? The women are the cause of the downfall of, it says the women are the cause of. No, let me tell you something about that, Kayla. Now you might think that you take on that ideology that women are always the downfall of men, but let me tell you something. A man is just as responsible as anybody else. You understand what I'm saying? If a man wants to do something, ain't nothing gonna stop him from doing it. Have you ever tried stopping a man from cheating? If he wants to go and have sex with another woman, you can't do a damn thing about it. If a woman wants to leave you for somebody else, you can't do a damn thing about it. You can't make nobody do nothing. As for you can take on that victim mentality, is that women are the cause for everything going wrong. See, that's what white folks set up there to try to put on you, that it's our fault, the reason why the world is the way it is. No, it's both sexes' fault, sweetheart. Equally. What the hell is are men fucking idiots and nincompoops easily led by bitches? I mean, they just, when it comes to their dick, they just stupid. I mean, come on, y'all. Let's stop that. Let's stop that, because I know a lot of men that ain't led by their slum. Okay, I know a lot of women that ain't the reason why men fall. People fall because of the choices that they make, and we need to stop that. We need to stop the blaming. Oh, the reason why the world is fucked up is because of you women and you men. No, it's messed up because people make stupid decisions and don't think about the repercussions of those decisions later. That's why. Don't make broad statements like that, because I'm sorry, I'm not going to sit up here and I'm not going to agree with you on that. I look at people individually, and individually, people make decisions. And when it comes down to kings making decisions, those kings make a whole entire nation fall because of their behavior in front of that nation. And this is what happened to our nation. Our kings went the wrong way with our Holy Father, and guess what? The people followed suit, following behind a king. The demons coming, that came out of the Talmud, Patricia. That came out of the Talmud. So that, but that's also coming from the people who actually go by that star I told you all about in another video. That star that I tell you about came from that story came from those people who followed that thing. Okay, the star of Remphan. Okay, that star has been always associated with Moloch and Baal. Always. That had nothing to do with the creator. We're talking about two different gods here. And it started originally with Solomon. And that's what I'm trying to tell you all. Okay? So when it comes down to those types of things, yes, he got involved when he got older with idol worshiping. And I'll tell you why. It's just like anybody else. When you're going through hard times, the Most High is all in your business. You praying every day. You talking to the God every day when you ain't got it like that. But as soon as things get sweet, as soon as things ain't, you got peace, ain't no wars going on, you and your man is good, you and your kids are healthy, you ain't talking to God like that as much as you used to back when you was in trouble. People get lackadaisy. You're not in the Most High space like that. And then if somebody introduces you to something, you might be like, ooh, let me try that. And next thing you know, your heart gets further and further and further away from the Creator. And that's what happened to every last one of our kings of Israel. And some of them were born into it because that's what their daddy did, and they followed behind what their father did. Okay, but it's like everything else. When you need the Creator, you all up in his face. When shit is sweet, you ain't got much to say. Y'all know that's how you get down. Y'all know that's how you get down. So don't think for 5 seconds that the Most High was like, I know y'all good until you need something, and then when you don't need anything, I don't hear you. But then you want me to be there when you need something. And he's saying, I asked you all. You all wanted to build this house for me. Well, this is what your boy did. This is what Solomon did, and the Most High is holding him to this. And this is the problem that we have here. This is the condition of our relationship with the Creator. Okay? So the Most High saw this little house. He was like, it's pretty, it's cute. And Solomon sat up there and said, point blank period. He said, therefore, O Elohim of Israel, let your word, I pray you, be verified which you spoke to your servant David, my father. But Elohim in truth will dwell on the earth. He said, behold, heaven and the heavens of heavens cannot contain you. So he's fully aware that you cannot contain the Most High inside any building. How much more less this house that I have built? Yet I have respect for the prayer. He said, yet you have respect for the prayer of your servant to his supplication. He says, O Yahweh, my Elohim, listen to the cry, to the prayer in which your servant prays for you this day. This is a deep prayer, so hold on to your seats, y'all. Okay? That your eyes may be opened towards this house day and night, and even towards the place in which you have said my name. And there he says, has said my name. Shall there be to listen to the prayer which your servant shall pray towards this place, and that you shall listen to the supplication of your servant and to the people, your people, Israel, when they pray towards this place. Yes, here in heaven, your dwelling, and the place from where you here forgive. If a man sins against his neighbor, and an oath is laid upon him to cause him to swear, and he comes and swears before your altar in this house, you then hear in heaven and do and judge your servants, condemning the wicked to bring his way upon his own head and justify righteousness, and to give to him accordingly to his righteousness. So that means if anybody comes to the house of Yahweh and says, hey, Father, I swear I didn't do nothing wrong to such and such and such and such and them over here, I need you to handle that, because I never wronged my neighbor in any way, shape, or form. And I need you to send whatever they sent to me back on their head. The Most High said, I'll hear that and I will judge that. If you didn't do nothing to nobody, and somebody sits up here and says, oh, this person, false witnesses, lies on you and says you did da 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 da, and you go to that house of Yahweh and said, on everything, I swear to God, I never done nothing to my neighbor. I never said one thing. The Most High says, I'll judge it for you, and I'll render what your neighbor's saying back on their head. Do you understand? All right. It says, moving on. When your people, Israel, are struck down before an enemy because they have sinned against you, if they turn to you and confess with your name and pray and make supplications to you in his house, hear from heaven and forgive the sin of your people, Israel, and I will bring them again to the land in which you have given their fathers. He said, if your enemy strikes you down, all right, and they have sinned against you, which is the United States, they brought us down and they sinned against us. And if we turn and we confess, we go to his house and say, Father, we've done whatever, we served our time. We need you to come get us and see about us. He said, what? That you would hear from heaven and forgive the sin of your people Israel and bring them again into the land of their fathers. Okay, we are inside of chapter 8, verse 33. Chapter 8, verse 33. All right. And I started at 27. Work your way down. Y'all know me. Read the whole damn chapter. Please read the whole chapter, please. I don't believe in doing half, jumping in and jumping out. Read the whole chapter. I'm just giving you what the conditions of our contract with the Most High is right now. This is 35. He said, when the heaven is shut up and there is no rain, because we have sinned against you, if they pray towards this place and confess your name and turn from their sin when you afflict them, then you will hear from heaven, forgive the sin of your people, and teach them the good way in which they should walk, and send rain upon your land, which you have given to your people for inheritance. So he's saying, if our people choose to sit up here and no, it is not Chronicles, it is Kings. Okay, he's saying that if it's not raining and we got a drought, and the drought won't happen like how this summer is happening, in America, we're not getting enough rain in certain places to be able to feed the nation, because especially the Midwest, if our people choose to pray and bring rain, the rain will come. But we have to walk a certain type of way for that to happen, ladies and gentlemen. And then 37, verse 37, if there is a famine in the land, And if there is pestilence, if there is blasting or mildew, locust or caterpillar, if the enemy besieges the land of their cities, whatever the plague, whatever the sickness there is, whatever prayer and supplication is made by any man or by your people, Israel, who shall know every man of the plague his own heart and spread forth his hands towards this house. Then you will hear and forgive. You will hear from heaven, your dwelling place, and forgive and do and render every man according to his ways, and whose hearts you knows. For only even you know the hearts of all the children of men, that they may fear you all the days that they live in the land which you gave to our fathers. Moreover, the foreigner, now this is where you start talking about the Gentiles. Moreover, concerning the foreigner that is not of your people Israel, when he came out of the far country for your name's sake, for they shall hear of your great name and of your mighty hand and of your outstretched arm, when he has come to pray towards this house. Hear you in the heavens from your dwelling place, and do accordingly to all that the foreigner that calls you, for all peoples of the earth you may know the name, to fear you as your people Israel, and that they may know this house and have built that I have built in your name. That's the reason why he can hear the Gentiles. Anybody miss with that, where it's only us? It ain't only you. He said the foreigner too, that if they pray to him in this house, our God, our Father, that he will hear them. Do you understand? Ain't just it's only Hebrews, it's only our people only. No, it's not. Solomon did that with the foreigners. Okay? Now, if your people go into battle against their enemy, by whatever way you shall send them, they pray to Yahweh towards the city which you have chosen, and towards the house in which I have built in your name, and you will hear from heaven and prayer and their supplication, and maintain their cause. All right? If they sin against you, for there is no man that does not sin, and you are angry with them, and deliver them to the enemy, so that they carry them away captive to a land of the enemy, far off or near, yet they shall reconsider in the land where they are captive, and turn again and make supplication to you in the land of them that carried them captive, saying, we have sinned and have done perversely, and we have dealt wickedly. If they return to you with all their heart and with all their soul in the land of their enemies, that's us now, who carried them captive, and pray to you towards their land, that you will give to their forefathers the city that which you have chosen, and the house which I have built for your name. And they hear the prayer, that their supplication in heaven, and that you hear the prayer and their prayer and their supplication in heaven in your dwelling place, and maintain the cause, and forgive your people who have sinned against you, and all their transgressions in which they have transgressed against you, and give compassion before those who carried them captive. Not pray against them that they're going to be your slaves. Okay? Not that they're going to be, house going to get fucked up and ran down and destroyed in the storm. Let's rewind the tape at 50 again. Forgive your people who have transgressed against you. That means us as the slaves over here in America. And all their transgressions in which they have transgressed against you, and give them compassion who carried them captive, that they may have compassion on them. For they are your people and your inheritance, which you brought forth out of the out of Egypt from the middle of the furnace of iron, that your eyes may be open to the supplication of your servant and to the supplication of your people Israel, to listen to them in whatever cry to you. For you have separated them from among all the peoples on the earth to be your inheritance, as you spoke by Moses, your servant, when you brought our fathers out of Egypt. Sovereign Yahweh. I believe the terms of our agreement were quite clear, class. Give me a 10 if you heard the terms of our agreement. That ain't got nothing to do with half the things that these camps have said, half the things other people have said about your captives who have kept us in this country. The Most High said, if he wants to, we ask him to forgive us, well, we're going to have compassion on who? Class. I'll wait. Put it inside the chat. It's the Gentiles. Is it the Gentiles or whoever else? He said for us to have compassion on, because he said, see, I brought y'all up out of Egypt. And however he chooses to deal with the Gentiles is how he gonna deal with them. That ain't got nothing to do with your business. But he's saying, have compassion on them. Is that not what that would? Is that not what he just said? There's a lot of people not reading this book and understanding what I'm talking about here. So everybody who put up 10s understand the terms of this contract in which we signed to the Most High, because clearly we have violated this motherfucker quite a few times. Quite a few times we violated. Raquel, whether you there yet or not, then the Most High won't be there yet to forgive your sins and have compassion on you about your shit. You need to really revamp that, baby. You need to revamp that. This is what shadow work. This is what this shadow is about. Because what you're holding in your heart will have your ass sitting right here in hell if you're not careful. That's what this channel is about. We getting down to the real nitty gritty, because while you're holding hate in your heart for someone else, who's holding hate in their heart towards you, baby gal? Because if you got that kind of attitude about people who you may or may not have ever done anything to you, okay? Who's got an attitude towards you the way you holding things in your heart? That's the question. Because when you bring that kind of hate to the table, that means you spewing it somewhere. You spewing it somewhere. And that's what you have to work on. That's what all of us have to work on. You can't heed. That's what the terms of our conditions of our contract were. And we have been violating it consecutively over and over again for the last 6,000 years. That damn near 5,000 years. That's fine, Raquel, but what I'm saying is that when you pop inside of my channel or inside my chat and you say blatant things, I'm going to call you out about it, because that's what I'm saying. You say you're not working on that. You're not there yet. That means you need to do a hell of a lot of shadow work, a hell of a lot, because you're holding hate in your heart towards whom? Whom did these things? Please aim your hate or upsetment at the right individuals. We've all been here through white folks. We all understand their prejudices. But at the end of the day, whatever that they get involved in, they have to pay for. And that has nothing to do with you and how the Most High handles them and how he chooses to discipline them, no matter, just like how he chose to discipline us, had nothing to do with their business at the end of the day. He saw them do things outside of what they were supposed to do, and they will pay for that. But our contract said for us to be compassionate towards them, because we know how our Father get down. How do we know how he get down? Because he fucked us up. He took our babies. He did not care what these people did to us and how they did it to us. So clearly his punishments ain't no cakewalk. His punishment is not no cakewalk. I don't care who it is, Raquel, whether it's somebody or not, whether it's white folks, purple folks, Indians, whoever. Joe, the attitude in which you're carrying, who is it for? That's the question. And if it's not anybody specifically, that means that has something to do with you on the inside. And this is why we got to work on that. We got to work on who your anger truly is with. That's the part that I'm talking about. Who is your anger with? Who you mad at? Please get their address and their phone number so you can sit down and talk to them. Because at the end of the day, our father set up here and agreed. Our forefathers agreed to this contract the day we made his house in our nation. You understand? We did this. Solomon made this prayer towards us that he would forgive us, and he put the foreigner in there as well too, so they have redemption. You want to know why he did that? Because he had a bunch of foreign ass wives. We got a lot of our men sitting here with foreign women. Okay? So he put a little clause in there for him and his chicks and they children, the little gray babies that they would have. And our brothers are still having to this day. Okay? So he made provisions for foreigners as well as for the countries that would put us, if we did wrong, because you need to understand, you don't get in captivity sitting up here, oh, we didn't do anything wrong. We were just thrown into slavery for no reason at all. Bullshit. The hell you wasn't. These people was your folks was acting a fool out here. Sacrificing their babies and everything else. Why the hell you think it was okay for them to sit up there and take your kids? You were throwing them inside of an iron furnace for status, or for somebody to notice me, or for somebody to give me some money. We've been doing this. So he said, sinners, you didn't give a damn about your kids. I'm going to sell your kids off. See, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. People are sacrificing folks all the time. They still doing it in this nation right now. You understand? So that's what I'm trying to get you all to understand. The hate in which you have is displaced because our forefathers, Solomon, sat up there and put together the terms of our contract with the Creator. And we said these were our terms. And then on Kings chapter 9, the Most High said, and this is what the Most High said. See, he said, now, Solomon, you said what you had to say. And like with all contracts, the other opposing side, the side that you're giving this contract to, okay? The side that you're giving them to, no one, but see, this is the thing about y'all need to understand something about compassion for people. See, what if your child died and you said, Miss Pat, I just lost my child. And I said, I don't give a fuck. That ain't my baby. So why are you telling me? That's somebody who don't have that's a response of somebody who don't have compassion for people. And I mean, that's the coldest way I can say. What you telling me for? I don't give a fuck about you or your family. You will look at me like, what? Yeah. That's someone who doesn't have compassion. Do you understand what I'm saying, Lisa? See, y'all don't understand what no compassion looks like. You go to work and somebody says, you know what, I have to take off because my mom just died. I don't give a shit about your mother, whether or not she had a heart attack on the floor in front of me. Get your ass back to work. That's someone who doesn't have compassion for you. Okay? I don't care what's going on with you. That's someone who has no compassion. You got a beef with the way the world was made. But what happened when the world was going in your favor? You don't know. Because your forefathers offered you up as collateral for whatever they was doing way back when they killed our brother on the cross. Remember, they said, put it on our children's head. Them the ones that didn't have no compassion. So maybe you might want to take it up with your ancestors on the other side. You know what I'm saying? They had no compassion on what would befall their children. Because, see, before all of this even happened, it was them that put them up and said, let that be on our kids' head. We don't give a fuck about them. It ain't happening to us right now. That's somebody that doesn't have compassion, ladies and gentlemen. See, like I said, the ones who actually suffered during slavery time are the ones who really took them hits for real, and the unfairness of it. And the Most High is telling you at this time, since you want to be all up in his house and you want him to forgive you and you want to be a chosen one, that you're going to have to do a bit of fixing that heart of yours and getting all that hate up out of you. Because as long as you standing there with that bullshit in your tank, he ain't got time for you either. And you can get over there with the goats as well. He's not letting nobody in his house with that kind of attitude. That's what I'm talking about. See, the Most High is searching hearts, not mouth. He's done with that. He's done with that. He's searching your heart. What's that made out of? What's up in there? Because a lot of people are going to find, this is the reason why that group is so small. Why it's so small. It's small because people can't get this right. People don't want to forgive. They don't even want to look at their own responsibilities of why their life is the way they are because of their own choices. Your own choices is why your life is fucked up. I'll repeat. The reason why your life and you're unhappy is because of your choices. You cannot like what Miss Pat is saying all you want, but it doesn't change the fact that it's true. Your life is the way it is because of your decisions and your final thoughts on a situation. And if you don't accept that part, what you want the Most High to forgive you for everything that you're doing, but you have no problem fucking over nobody else. You have no problem being a nasty motherfucker to somebody else. But you want the Most High, forgive me, Lord, forgive you. You can't forgive your neighbor. You can't forgive your child. You can't forgive your sister. You can't forgive your mama. You can't forgive your daddy. You can't forgive, but yet you want him to forgive you for all your shit. But what's in your heart is tainted as hell. See, this is the proving ground here on earth. He's not bringing you into his house with that bullshit. And this is where I said, look at the contract in which we said this is what we wanted as a nation. We said, okay, Solomon, we good with what you just said. So the Most High is going to say inside of chapter 9, 1 Kings, Yahweh said to him, he says, Yahweh said to him, this is verse 3, I have heard your prayer and your supplication that you have made before me. I have hallowed this house and you have built to put my name there forever, and my eyes and heart shall be there perpetually. Okay? As for you, see, this is where shit gets serious. If you walk before me as David, your father, walked in the integrity of your heart, in the uprightness, and to do all that I have commanded of you, and will keep my statutes and my ordinances, I will establish the throne of your kingdom forever, over Israel forever. Accordingly, as I promised to David your father, saying, there shall not fail you a man upon the throne of Israel. But if you shall turn away from me, turn away following me, you or your children, and keep not my commandments and statutes which I have set before you, but shall go and serve another Elohim and worship them, then I will cut off Israel out of the land and will that I have given them, and this house which I have hallowed for my name, and I will cast out of my sight, and Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all peoples. And though this house is high, yet every one that passes by it will be astonished and shall hiss and shall say, why has Yahweh done this to this land and to this house? And they shall answer, because they have forsaken Yahweh their Elohim, who brought their forefathers out of the land of Egypt, and held on to another Elohim and worshiped them, and served them. Therefore, Yahweh has brought this evil upon them. That was the other part of the contract. Aren't we called niggas to this day? Blacks, Negroes. We don't know where the hell we came from. Huh? That was the end. That was the, hey, Solomon brought his part. The Most High brought his part. That was a contract. How many times did we break it? Now we just not coming up out of our captivity in 2020. Okay? Now you tell me what's the beef here? What's the beef? Who you got the real beef with? Because this is how you know, how you found out how the Gentiles got their part. I told you. We gave up our blessing. Now, Solomon set up there and made a small little clause for them, but we gave up our blessing. Easy. We gave it up. We went to follow somebody else. And the Most High told his prophets to go and teach the Gentiles. We didn't hold up our end of the bargain. And the only reason why the Most High ain't destroyed us is because of David and Abraham. He said, I'd always keep a lamp on for Israel for David's sake, and a branch for Abraham's sake. This is the only reason why we got a chance today. But as long as we walking around with that hate in our heart, see, that hate in your heart can get you easily over there in the Baal side. That hate in your heart can easily get you caught up in witchcraft because you don't believe in the power of your Father. Do you know why people do witchcraft? It's because they want things. They want power. They want the ability to control instead of waiting on the Creator. They really don't believe in God. They just want what they want when they want it. If you understand what the Creator is, and he's a multi-transdimensional being who understands past, present, and future, then and can do things outside your understanding. This is the reason why he would know things would happen and how he could tell his prophets to go tell such and such this is going to happen and such. Tell David he can go up and conquer them people because he already saw it in the future. That they would win so they could go up and do it. You understand? Yeah, he would send his angels out from time to time and help. But you have to understand what angels are. Angels can be messengers. You understand what I'm saying? They're working transdimensional invisibles. You get what I mean? That means they're here. They see you. They see this conversation. I could have a transdimensional sitting right next to me and you wouldn't know it because they're invincible to our eyes. So they see and hear everything that you're doing. Okay? So we screwed up this situation and have been for quite some time. Now, Solomon, yeah, he has some issues with women. And the reason Most High told him straight up, this is the reason why I don't want you messing with foreign women, because foreign women bring their foreign gods with them and their foreign ways of worship with them. And you might find them attractive and elaborate. You understand what I'm saying? That they're doing, and they're saying, oh, I got this because of the God of this and the God of that. And we're always, just like motherfuckers with magic. Ooh, let me try that. And when you do this and you get what? Oh, all I got to do is burn a Burberry candle and I can get some money. Next thing you know, your ass is standing inside the candle shop. Let me get a Burberry candle. Because you want some money instead of going to talk to your Father about it. Well, I did talk to him. He didn't get it to me fast enough. Are you doing his laws and statutes and commandments? Are you doing his commandments, or are you still doing you? The reason why he ain't heard shit you have to say. Because he said it's real easy. You do that which I asked you to do, and I'll give you whatever you want. But the moment that you sit up here and you're talking about your kids, you talking about your sister, you on the phone talking about all the things that's going on at work and how you can't stand this raggedy bitch that sits up here and comes by your desk every day with her slew-footed ass. Oh, yeah, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, and that's the reason why you didn't get what you want. See, we keep forgetting it's a two-way street. Contracts work both ways. The only time we see contracts working both ways is when we in a relationship and he ain't doing this for me and she ain't doing that for me because I do this and all she do is that. See, when the contract ain't working and it ain't the right reciprocations of give and take, people get angry. And you think our Father don't get angry with us? You don't think he go, I'm doing all of this and yet you still over here doing what you want to do? You still over here fornicating. You still over here having sex with any and everybody, knowing your ass is motherfucking married, and I'm supposed to hear your prayer because you in the hospital sick now. You get what I'm saying? All of this type of stuff. If you think you're mad and you don't get what you want out of a relationship, you doing everything that you want to do. You putting your whole life down in front of a man or a woman, and this woman don't do nothing. She don't even get up and clean your clothes. She won't even sit up here and make you any food, but yet you give her a place to live. You make sure her bills are paid. You literally do all kind of nice things for her, and she can't do nothing but wipe. She can't even wash your clothes. You're going to have a problem with that because it's not equal give and take. And that's how the Father was looking at it. You're not giving me what I asked you to do. I asked you not to go and fuck with some. You'd rather go and pray to a water bottle. Water bottle. Give me some water. And he's like, what? Why? Why? It's foolishness. And that's what he's saying. You'd rather go and talk to a piece of wood than to come talk to me. Because to talk to me, you got to live right. To talk to me, you got to be right. But you want to be any kind of way. I want to throw my ass in a circle, okay? I want to fuck who I want to fuck. I want to sit up here and drink how I want to drink, smoke how I want to smoke, talk about whoever I want to talk, rob people, steal from people, do all kind of manner of evil to people and still get what I want. So guess what? My God is not going to go along with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit up here and talk to this piece of wood because I get to do what I want to do and I ain't got to change for nobody. That's what's been our problem. Yes, it does say that. Nephi says all of that. All of that is there, JD. And it's there inside of Kings too, because Solomon made that provision when he first made that contract, when he dedicated the temple to our Father. And our Father said, I hear you. Check, check, check on everything you had to say. And I'm going to hold y'all raggedy asses to that shit. And guess what? Not even Solomon held his end of the bargain. Because when he did what he did in front of everybody to please his wives, and mind you, he didn't do this when he was young and stupid, where people would sit up here and say, well, he was young and stupid. No, he did this shit when he was old. When he was old. And I'll read it to you so we can get clarity on here, so you don't think Miss Pat is making things up, okay? It says, now King Solomon loved many foreign women. In other words, now King Solomon was a big old hoe. Fine. He fine. I mean, come on. Rich and fine. All women are going to love him, okay? Together with the daughter of Pharaoh, the women of the Moabites, the Amorites, the Edomites, and the Sidonians, and the Hittites. All of our enemies, by the way. He got women from all of these cliques. All right? These are the very same people that can't stand us. So now we got foreigners and they babies inside the house of Israel. And you wonder how we so mixed up. So please stop it with it's only black people, because it's not. Because I'm going to tell you, Ish and them a bunch of Ammonites already. It says, which Yahweh said to the children of Israel, she said, you shall not go among them, neither shall they come among you. Now Yahweh told the children of Israel, do not go among these foreign people and don't have them among you. All right? For surely they will turn your heart after their Elohim. Solomon clung to these in love. All right? And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned his heart. For it came to pass that when Solomon was old, when he was an old nigga knowing way better, this is not his first time at the merry ground. He's old. He's fully versed in the laws of Israel. He ain't no young buck fresh off of 21, 32. He's an old one. That his wives turned his heart after another Elohim, and his heart was not perfect with Yahweh, his Elohim, as the heart of David was. Solomon went after Ashtaroth, the mighty one of the Sidonians, and after Melacham, the abomination of the Ammonites. 2 different gods he started messing with. All right. He turned around. He did a lot of things in front of him. And then when he went over to Chemosh, which is the Malik, the star of Molech, which is also the child sacrificing, that's when the Most High said, you got me fucked up. Okay? So yeah, you got to understand why I pulled that out the way I pulled it out. Because the person that ends up taking Solomon's throne, the mama is the Pharaoh's daughter. And the Pharaoh's daughter was the one who turned him on to the star of Ramadan, which is Molech. She's the one who turned him on to it, taught his son everything about it, and his son walked in that way. So, and his sons did the same thing after him, and so on and so on. Jebaron. And then hearing where it gets really strange is that I think his name is Jabron or something like that, or like a Jeroboam, something like that. Now that's the child that takes over after Solomon passes away. All right. His history is chronicalized, is actually put inside of Chronicles. But every other king that came after Jeroboam, they were supposed to be put inside Chronicles, and they weren't. Their books are all missing. Even the Bible is asking, shouldn't their acts be inside of Chronicles? That means Chronicles should have been at least 12 books long for all of the different kings that came after Solomon's son. Okay? But it wasn't. The only people who were recorded inside of Chronicles is a little bit of David, a little bit of Solomon, to be honest with you, very little Solomon. And Solomon was on the throne for quite some time. And so was David. So their books alone should have been huge. But the David stuff is chronicalized inside of in Samuel, as well as in Kings and in Chronicles. And a little bit of Solomon is inside of Kings, and only the story of pretty much the temple is inside of Chronicles. That's it. But Jeroboam, the one who really put it down for the star of Moloch, his whole thing is recorded. All right. And inside of his reign is where the 10 tribes of Israel, the 12 tribes, got split up. 10 stayed underneath his reign, and 2 went on and split off. That was the Levites and Judah. They split off from the other 10. And that's because Mr. Jeroboam called himself doing things outside of the way David would have done them. And that's the reason why you got the split where the 10 tribes went off with the ones who kept on dealing with the star and the child sacrifices. And the other two took a while before they started messing around with that shit too. Okay, everybody fell underneath this thing, even to this day, which eventually turned into Baal. Eventually, it literally during the reign of I think what is her name, with Jezebel and the other king. I think his name is Ananiah or something like that. Anana. That was Jezebel's husband. That's when it really went into Baal, because she was a true worshiper of the devil, straight up. She had no bones about it. She was Baal, the Baal priestess, 100%. Okay? So this is why I'm trying to get you to understand. We have been walked away from the Father as an entire nation. It was only a few, like Josaphat, who would revert, who went back to the ways of Yahweh. And that's the reason why he was also recorded inside of the book of Chronicles and in Kings. But everybody else, there's at least 12 books that are missing out of Acts. And they never ever said why. I looked over the internet trying to find all of these different books where they had seers that belonged to the Yahweh and everything else that were advising the different kings and stuff like that. All of their acts have been mysteriously taken out. The Bible's asking, shouldn't they stuff be chronicalized inside of the acts of this king? Should have been chronicalized inside of Acts. Is it not? Where are they? So the Bible, whoever wrote it, is asking, this information is omitted. The only information that's actually in here is the folks that actually was literally worshiping Baal. And that's the mystery that I want to find out about. Why is it gone? And this star that is still in the world today, and how these people ran everything in the world, that their darling they're still running everything as they ran everything back then. They still doing it today. And the other 10 tribes, for our trouble of us messing with that particular God, we kept going into what? Captivity after captivity. Every time we turned on, we went into Egypt for 300 or some odd years. We came out of Babylon for, what was it, 430, and then we went right back in at the fall of Jerusalem in 70 AD, and we ain't been out since what? We just got out in 2020. We just got out in 2020, y'all. We've been inside of captivities forever. And here we are again with folks bringing the magic right back to us so we can what? Land right back there. That's the reason why he said there is a small group. And that small group is going to be the ones who make up their minds that they're going to do what they've been asked to do. You understand? And cleave on to the Most High and not let go under any circumstances. That means you have to become a better person. You're going to have to leave your BS behind, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have to take care of that heart and really go in and examine why your hate is the way it is. And who is it actually to? Okay? Who is it? It's one thing to work with people and prejudice people and they have a hard time and they treat our people a certain type of way. Those people don't follow you home. And yes, we live in a society that's catered to them. Okay? But we know, dealing with the Most High, what the punishment is fucking with us. We know disobeying the Most High, what it is. They came over here saying to the Most High they was going to be right, and they ain't been right. And what did the Most High say he wants? He wants double. You did this to my people. You said you was going to follow my laws and do what I asked you to do, and you've done everything other than that, and even a little extra some. So seeing as that's what you did with my offer towards you, then I'm finna whoop all that ass. You think I whoop my kids' ass, baby, you got double for what you done to them. See, this is the reason why I said, why are you angry when you know what's in store for them? Why? He did not take no shorts on our asses. So what they did to us is going to be child's play compared to what he's going to do to them if they don't get themselves together. That's why he said, have compassion on them, baby. Because when I render my punishment, you see, you weren't there when your relatives went through it, when your ancestors went through their babies getting taken and being treated like crap on every place your foot set on this earth. See, you weren't here for that. But you're gonna be here for it to watch them go through it, and it ain't gonna be nice. So my question is, why you got so much hate? Why is your behind and everybody's private part so hot? Ooh, I can't wait for them to get what they get. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? We all know that the Most High does not play no games. We ain't you ain't got to sit here like you got a fucking itchy STD going on in your chair for somebody else to get what's coming to them, because baby, like I said, the Most High let them do all manner of evil to us. Okay? And he just sat back and said, I'm not. Let them keep going. Because what I got stored for their asses, oh, baby. That's why he said, have compassion on them. Because I'm going to pour out that same cup of dregs. He said, I got a special cup for these folks right here. I've been holding this for a while. So that's the reason why I said, why are you upset? Why are you sitting up here literally nipple twisting on what's going to happen to them? Our Father don't need no help. He didn't need no help with us. He fucked us up so bad we didn't remember who we were. That's all I got to say. He fucked us up so bad we didn't even know that we was Israelites. We just thought we were some black people around here. I thought I was just black. I didn't know I was Israel. What? We the house. We want to try for real. That's how mad. That's how ass a woman, a hell of an ass when we got. He whooped our ass so bad we didn't remember who the fuck we were. Okay, so you questioning whether or not he gonna get the Gentiles? He whooped your ass till you didn't remember that you was a goddamn Israelite or Hebrew. You don't know who the fuck you is. All around the planet, you have no idea, and you wondering whether or not he gonna do what he gonna do to them. Okay. That's why I said you need to have compassion on them. Because if he beat your ass to the point you didn't remember who you was, what the hell you think he gonna do to them? And you know they ain't got no staying power. They are not built like you. They are not built like you. And they are very arrogant. They are truly believe that they deserve everything. They already howling, and the belt ain't even came off our Father's waist yet. They need all the compassion that they need, all the compassion that they can get, y'all. And like I said, that's not my business. I'm finna mind my old black business over here and get my heart right. So when the Most High sits up here and talks to me about what's going on with Miss Pat, I can be able to have a good conversation with him. You get what I'm saying? You understand my drift, brothers and sisters? Because see, that's the problem. We so busy looking at somebody else's yard, we're not paying attention that our yard needs mowing. We're not paying attention that our yard needs a little bit of landscaping and some flowers to be bought. And maybe we ought to think about doing some other things up in here. You know what I'm saying? While you looking over in your damn neighbor's yard about what's going to happen at their house. Mind your fucking business. I'll repeat, Israelites, or whatever you want to call yourself today. Mind your business. Get your heart right. Get what's going on inside of here together. Worry about the love that you have in your heart, not only for yourself, but for your family and your children. Baby, that'll have you busy for the next 10 years, trying to get past all of these child traumas and all of these parent traumas that you have and things of that nature. Y'all got too much hate going on. How I know is because I had it too, and I had to work on it. I had to be honest. I had to heal shit between me and my child. And I know that I ain't the worst parent in the world, but I damn sure ain't, you know what I'm saying, perfect by a long shot. That I can sit up here and say, oh, all of that's cool over here. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm just honest about my shit. I know the things I need to work on. I know the anger issues that I have from time to time because of how I've been treated, how I'm still being treated by people. You understand what I'm saying? But you know what? All I can do is the Father says, pray for that situation. Come close to me. Put Father in your business and change the way you handle your brothers and sisters. And I guarantee you, your life will change. He will keep you if you believe. But the problem is a lot of us don't understand that our Father is not just somebody sitting here waiting for your prayers and like he's just sitting around, well, I guess you'll talk to me today. No, that's not how he works. He's just like you. If all the time that you see a motherfuckers when they want something, you're going to be like, what you want? What? That's how it used to be with different family members. You don't call me unless you want something. So why would I answer my phone? Oh, hey, how you doing? No, it's what? What? Why are you being that way? You don't call me unless you want something. So what is it? Why you got to be like that? Because you full of shit. Get to the point. Well, I need about $20. Like I said, you only call me when you want something. And then when I say no, then you got an attitude. And that's how we deal with the Father. He like, you're not even doing my laws. You sleeping with a man that don't even belong to you, my dear. You asking me to give you somebody else's man. The fuck is wrong with you? I don't even get out like that. That's somebody else's man. He ain't even nice enough to even sit up here and tell you, hey, I have no intention on ever being with you that way. All I want is them draws. That's it. He got you sitting over here. Oh, he loved me. He liked me. He talked to me. And he got somebody somewhere else. And you asking me for somebody else's man. Are you crazy? You asked me for somebody else's woman. You crazy? And I'm supposed to be in the middle of a conversation like that. You really want to have this conversation with me when I asked you not to commit adultery. When I asked you, and say, hey, I like women who are, put themselves over to the side till you find out what this motherfucker's really talking about. Who chasing themselves, have a little chastity about yourself. Having a little chastity about yourself means not being quick to throw your legs open because somebody say they like you and that you cute today because you don't believe you're pretty. So you figure, let me throw my legs over so maybe I'll keep him. Girl, are you crazy? That's the quickest way to lose somebody. Sit there long enough to see what this person is talking about. You might find that you need to keep your legs closed. You understand what I'm saying? And your purse even more closed. But we don't do that because we weren't taught that. We weren't taught to be women who actually vet people. Well, he wants to do this. I don't care what he wants. Motherfuckers in hell want water. That don't mean I'm walking around being the water girl in hell. No, I'm not. The whole point is this. They can want what they want. But if they're there just to hit that and go, they're going to make that real clear. It's just that simple. If they really there for something and really want a relationship, they'll take that time. In fact, some men will tell you, baby, put your clothes back on. I just wanted to talk to you and take you out to dinner a couple of times. I did not want to I don't want to know you. I don't want to know your cookies, sweetie. Not just yet. And if you're giving it away that quick, that must be a real used cookie. Everybody's coming to this motherfucker to get one, ain't it? If you just gonna pop it up like that, and I ain't even got to do nothing. I ain't even got to buy you $1 pop or nothing. You just popping it out just like that. Wow. Tell me a lot that I need to know. I've had men that literally, oh, I'll do this to you. Motherfucker, you don't even know me. Do you know my middle name? You just really just pull it on out. What are you doing? You understand what I'm saying? But that's what our society has said is acceptable. We have to change that. We have to slow people down and get to know each other. We have to slow people down getting to know friends because sometimes people get around you because they want to be you. They don't want to know your friendship. They want to be and take your place. You understand? You ever met people like that? Oh, girl, I just love being around you. Oh, my yes. Oh, I love this. I love that. And actually, what they want is that they want everything that you got. You got to understand why people are around you. You have to sit here and really vet your friendships and test people. Why are you here exactly? You understand? It's the same thing about the Most High. He does that to us too. He gives you training ground. I'm gonna bless and see what she do with this here money. Is she gonna get this car and walk around like she better than everybody and flapping her hair in people's faces because now she's got a little BMW or or some little fancy little car? She's smacking people with her hair. Less than a month ago, she didn't have any hair, but okay. She can't even give her mama a ride around the corner to get groceries. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? But you want the Most High to bless you with different things. And when he does, this is the reason why many of us do not have money. And everything is not about money all the time. You get money and you don't want to help nobody. I ain't got it. You got over $100,000 in the bank. I ain't got it. I used to have a granddaddy that was like that. That man did not give you shit. He'd have money crammed up his ass in all kind of places. And how you know is out of nowhere, he throw something in your hand. Don't tell nobody about that. It'd be $5. Like, I was like, come on, bro. You act like you gave me $20, $100, so it's $5 whole. Wow. Okay, I won't tell nobody. Trust me, I won't tell nobody about that granddaddy. You understand what I'm saying? But that's how he was. But he would always have money, but tell you up and down, I ain't got a dime. I know many people that are literally stingy people that cannot handle everybody can't handle having things, ladies and gentlemen. They can't handle money. So that's the reason why they don't get it and they don't have it. And why ain't I rich? Because you would lose your mind and go to hell being rich. You might be a drug addict. You might turn into a drunk. You might turn into a chronic gambler. Anything. There's reasons why the Most High doesn't bless everybody with certain things. You get what I'm saying? Because some of y'all don't know how to handle that. And why would he do that and turn you into an addict? You understand? And you lose your life because you can't handle having that kind of money or that kind of lifestyle. Everybody's not meant to have those types of things. So that's why I said, try to be happy with that where you have what you have at this time, because that's where you need to be. Right now, I have to sit back and I have to say, I have to be okay with where I am at this point in time of my life. It may not be for me to go here or go there and be cool right where I'm at, because it might be some things I need to learn. You understand what I'm saying? If you're not in working or something like that, you don't understand why you can't get a job. Maybe it's because the Most High wants you to have a moment. Sit your ass down somewhere. I need to talk to you. And as long as you're not, I need a job, and it's not coming through. It's not coming through because he wants your attention. You understand? So this is the reason why I said, doing these laws, we got a lot to deal with here and here to get right. We really don't have time to be worrying about another nation and their problems, because as you can see, things are falling apart for them. They don't need us to be on the sidelines cheering or watching at this moment. We don't have time to watch, because the point is that whatever's going to happen on this world, whatever the Most High wants to do when it comes down to his children, if he wants to pull children here and pull children there, or take them off planet, or do whatever, who knows? The whole point is that he wants a certain type of group of people, and he wants a certain type of group of people who are going to do what he asked them to do. And so far, we have gotten the contract and we understand the terms, and we have yet to fulfill the terms. And my question to you is, are you going to fulfill the terms? You heard the terms today. My question is, how many of you all have been making other things your God in this life? And be honest. Some of you all have made men and women your gods in this life. Some of you all have made jobs your God in this life. Some of you all have made your house, your cars, your children gods in this life. Be honest. You have. I know I have done it in my time. I've made men gods in my life where everyone, whatever he wanted, whatever he needed, I threw everything down at this person's feet of what I could do for them and all of that shit. And you know where it got me? My motherfucking feelings hurt. And penniless, sitting on a bench with 50 cents to my name. That's what happens when you make people your God. Same thing with your kids. You pour everything you can into your children, and your children leave you high and fucking dry, baby, especially when you need them the most. So my question to you is, where have you made things, idolatry, your gods? Because trust me, everybody here has done it. Everyone. So don't sit here and say, Most High's always been number one on my book. You a lying motherfucker and you know it. You're lying and your ass know it. All of us have made things and people and jobs gods in our lives. Be honest and repent about it and get yourself back on track. Accountability, yes, does go a hell of a long way. But some of us don't want to be accountable. Some of us want to continue to lie to ourselves and say, yeah, I did the best I could. No, the fuck you didn't. You did what you wanted to do. You have to understand, Baal is everything of this world. That's what Baal is. It is you worshiping the things of this world. And everybody has fallen in line with that particular God. You running after the bag. I got to get my coins. I got to get the bag on any means necessary. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. We all been bowing at that fucking cow. We've all been doing it. All of us have been doing it. We've been trained since yay high to do it. We went to school so we could be accepted by the AKAs and the skiwees and anybody else to be able to try to get that bag the best way we can so we can feel better than this person and that person. And we still got folks still trying to do that. Because there's some people that I'm an Israelite because you want to be on the side of the street where the Most High is blessing his people. Not because you love him so much. Because you know it's a blessing over here. But see, the blessing is, and the only way you can get the blessing is that you got to do what you're told. See, some of y'all, even during the Passover, that was a test, quiet as kept. The Most High is testing us every year. Can you do what you're told to do? I told you to have your little dinner, Passover dinner, and put the blood over your what? Over your mantles. That was to see if you would be told what to do. We had people trying to sit up here and literally substitute beet juice for blood. That's not following fucking directions. And see, the biggest part about the Most High is following his directions. And that's what we got a problem with. You couldn't even follow the directions. I really don't like lamb. He didn't give a fuck if he said it, you liked it or not. If it's going to save your ass, you going to be buying lamb and eating that shit, ain't you? If somebody told you, if you don't put that shit on your motherfucking door, your house going to burn down. Your whole house will be painted in lamb's blood. He told you, just do what I asked you to do. Just do it. As a remembrance of me bringing your raggedy asses out of Egypt. Because as of right now, these last two captivities, he's feeling like I shouldn't have brought your ass nowhere. I should have let your ass stay there and let them Egyptians just tear your ass to pieces. Making, you know what I'm saying, brick without straw. For all the trouble that he went through. Do you understand what I'm saying? We need to learn how to follow directions. Instead, we are typical people who are trying to find shortcuts. Even for that one exercise, I literally sat up there and said, just buy your lamb. You ain't got to sit up here and turn your house into a murder scene. Just take a little dab on your finger, say bop, bop, bop. That's it. Done. People were sitting up here substituting. I don't like lamb. Never liked the taste of it. I don't want to use lamb. I'm a vegan. Okay. It was just literally, he said, do that in remembrance of me, and you couldn't even do that. It costs too much. Go get ground lamb. That's about $3.99. Some of y'all got smoking habits. Those are $18 a pop a box. But you can't get a little ground lamb and cut it up. But if you want some chicken, if you want a pizza, you sure can grab up $25 or $50 or $30. How much? The pizza's almost $40 for a small now. We know how to get anything else we want, but the small things that the Most High is asking us to do, we got more excuses than a person going to jail. We got more excuses than they going to jail because why we can't do it. That's the reason why he says, that's why I don't mess with y'all like that. That's the reason why I sit back and say, we're going to see what they're going to do. They're going to have to do what they need to do first, and then I'll show up. Okay? But that's what he's saying. Do what I asked you to do. Follow directions. You follow directions, you got my ear. You continue to sit up here and try to do shortcuts like everybody did back in the day during the time of Moses' time. That's the reason why the laws got to the point where couldn't nobody do it, because everybody's doing these shortcuts. Well, what if you do this? And what if you do that? Our people are notorious for trying to find a way to skate uphill. You can't skate uphill, dumbass. All you end up doing is wasting all your energy to be right at the bottom of the hill instead of taking the skates off and climbing that motherfucker the way everybody else got to do it, 1 foot at a time. But instead, we're trying to find a way to get out of something, trying to find an easy way to be able to handle it. So we can't follow directions, and you wonder why we were in 3 years. We've done over 1,000 some odd years in captivity. 1,000 some odd years in captivity altogether, and still haven't learned the lesson. So this is the reason why I say stiff-necked is an understatement. We some dumb motherfuckers at this point. If we don't get it together this time, ladies and gentlemen, like I said for me, it's not over. You can continue to make shortcuts if you want to. As for Miss Pat at her house, we finna get down. We finna do what we need to do. Because I'm not trying to be here for another 400 years. I'm not trying to sit here and do the time with the Gentiles, baby. Oh, no, ma'am. You know, ma'am, no great days of hell. I would not be here 980 years. And my seed 980 years going through this shit with them. You out your fucking mind? You got me fucked up. Oh, no, I'm getting myself together with the Most High ASAP. Today. I'm getting my shit together because I'm sorry, you guys. It is time. Look, people always sit here, why do you talk the way you talk? Because clearly our hard-headed, stiff-necked asses can't hear. We can't hear regular calm talking. People have been trying to calm talk us for years, and it still has not gotten through the head. You still got people sitting in the church to this day and they ain't read this book. They bring it every Sunday, and ain't read this thing. We got teachers on the internet that ain't read this book, but they got everything. They can tell you everything that's in it. Yes, the camps read it, but are they reading it? Are they really reading it? Because in order to read it, you're going to have to pop over in some other books to be able to get it together. Because our brother Solomon did repent. Inside the Odes of Solomon, I think it's Psalm 16. He repented for what he did, messing around with these old strange ass women. But see, they don't tell you that part because they took that part and then put it in the Bible. They don't want you to show how the problems that went behind the things that happened with our kings, behind them going behind this foreign god and stuff like that. See, the people that control this world are the ones who did not allow these things to be written or either snatched them out of the books themselves. Whereas whenever King James got his hands on it, the books weren't there because King James and his people basically set up there and said, shouldn't these things be put inside the book? They're not here. They should be noted inside of Chronicles, but they're not here. They're even putting a question mark there. So on that note, y'all, I don't want to keep you because y'all know I don't like going over 2 hours, but I hope you did enjoy the fact that we cleared up the case of King Solomon not constructing the temple with demons. The temple was constructed by the nation of Israel with all of the people who were craftsmen of our nation. That's the reason why you didn't hear hammers and things in the making of it, because the pieces were made in the different shops that handled certain artistry inside of Israel. Big nothing burger, big fucking lie told by Ishmael to make it sound like they're magical. Just like ain't no magical babies popping in wombs, ain't no magic ring making and constructing a house. People constructed the house. Our people constructed the house of Yahweh and put their own work and their own artistry and their own skills into that house. Please stop with the woo-woo and the magical things, magical babies, magic snakes that's sitting up here having sex with women. And you know, it's like, stop it. We need to really stop it. Even the Bible ain't even got that in there. It's not even in there. There's no magical babies. Virgins are girls. They're girls. Young girls of marrying age. Come on now. Even the Bible ain't even sitting up there telling you that's magical stuff. Okay? Stop it with the woo-woo. Can we please stop? And please, let's read our Bibles for a change. That's what we're doing. We're reading and we're getting the mysteries out so we can stop playing in our own faces. You understand? Because this really was this was huge. How many of y'all enjoyed this particular lesson? Give me a 10 if you enjoyed these lessons. If they're eye-opening to you, let me know inside the comments that you are really getting edified at some of the clearing up of certain things inside the Bible. We're bringing these receipts. We're coming to understand our Father a little bit more. We're bringing him out of this strange fairy tale land into understanding how our Father really is. But I really want y'all to understand the intertransdimensional thing and what the invisibles are like. The invisibles are literally standing here with you, but you cannot see them. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, forgiveness and compassion is a hell of a thing. Let's start getting into the forgiveness and compassion, because I think that's what's going to save our nation at the end, ladies and gentlemen. And that we need to stop with the hate, and we need to stop with looking at our neighbors with the wishing of bad things to happen on us. That is not a part of the contract that we have with our Father, and we divert from that contract. We put ourselves in trouble, and we put ourselves at risk of having judgment brought upon us. Okay? So on that note, you all, thank you for hanging out with your girl. Let me know inside the comments if you like more stuff like this. Like I said, this is about us learning and moving on and elevating to a higher level. Please work on your shadows. It is imperative that you all work and read this. It is interesting to see what all happened with the different kings of Israel. It is a nice page turner. You understand what I'm saying? And on that note, you all take care, and I will see you all on Friday. Take care.